Oh, we shot it better for sure. I thought. I mean, it's just a culmination of lots of lessons and experience playing together and executing. I thought our defense was um, had it for the most part was energized, was impactful. We got stops. We rebounded exceptionally well on the weekend, and when you do that, then offense tends to feed off of that. So I loved our defensive intensity. We knew we were going to have to rebound well, especially against Colorado. So that was a big test, and I thought we really rose to the challenge there. And then Kat hitting that first three to start the Colorado game, and then Aaliyah playing so big, of course, all weekend. Really set the tone for the way we shot the ball. But there was a good pace. You're right. There was a good pace to our offense, but I thought it started with our defensive dominance, really.
Nice to see a kind of bounce back performance from Mick there. I know she's kind of had a bit of a struggle to start this first half of Pac-12 play, but she played pretty lights out over the course of this weekend.
Yeah, she played great. She's been impactful. Week in and week out, she's done a great job. She's had defenses loaded up against her, which is, and we've played, a really tough schedule, to this point, and it certainly doesn't get any easier, but she's finding her way through it. And I think, when you play that hard and that aggressive, good things are bound to happen, but we shot the ball better as a team, though, and I thought our just in general played better, and Mick probably benefited from that.
What about the fact that you've coached, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of games? How many of your players have made an 89-foot shot?
Yeah, that was the first. That was incredible, and so I'm trying to think back. I know we've probably had some half-court shots because we have here, but nobody from the other end, behind the free throw line. That was an unbelievable play to watch, and it was neat that it got the attention that it did.
They thought on the broadcast that it actually hit the bottom of the net.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah.
We're all in there. We all watched it. I don't know how you come to that conclusion off that. Clearly went in, and so somebody told me that afterwards. I'm like, and so must have looked different from the other side of the court.
Okay. So the Arizona State matchup, you've had some interesting games. A lot of them really close.
Yeah.
You had, the Marie Gulish second half effort. That was incredible not that long ago. But what about the matchup, and what are your expectations this week?
Well, the same as they've always been with them. We've had battles forever. We talk about it every time we play them. That's the word that probably gets used the most, is a battle. It's just the way they play. They play very gritty, tough, grinded out style of game, and then just like the USC game the other day, grinding out a game in double overtime and finding a way to hit a big shot. It's kind of been this group's MO over the years. The Riley Richardson, Robbie Ryan, Rudin. That group has just been so tough mentally, and that's what you have to overcome. You overcome a lot of toughness from them. And so, we learned a tough lesson down there. We weren't quite physical enough. We weren't quite tough enough. We didn't obviously play very well offensively. We shot the worst we shot all season in that game. And so, those things need to get better. And so understand, I think this group now, when you've got inside players that are playing against ASU for the first time, it's just a different game. And so we learned some tough lessons. We out-rebounded them by 10, but they got some key ones, down the stretch. And so to beat Arizona State, it takes a very physical, tough effort, and you have to be mentally tough, and it's always going to be a 40-minute game.
Knowing that the back half of this season is pretty much here, how quickly is this all gone, knowing there's, a month left, and then you guys are into tournament season?
Yeah, it's hard to believe, actually. Just 8 games left in conference, and it feels as though we've just started. A lot of that's just the pace of the conference schedule so far, what it's been, who it's been, how quick it's come. You've hardly been able to come up for air, to be honest. It feels as though we just moved into our locker room and we're playing Utah. It feels like that just happened, and it's been a month and 10 games later. And so I feel like this team's evolved well through it. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We know we've got a ton of work to do to accomplish the goals that we want and to be in the position that we want. But this team's learned you can't take a moment off. You can't take one moment. You can't relax for a second. And our group has learned that, and I like the way they've responded, to both wins and losses. And I'm excited to get to work with them again today.
I know you guys try to limit some of the outside noise as much as possible, but when the top 16s come out, and all of a sudden now some of those things do enter the fold. As if we win this game, where does that move us? I mean, how much of that does come into play when you're trying to sort of buckle down for the last month of the year?
Yeah. You can't really control it other than to win, right? You just have to win, and the way you win is by executing. And so I think any competitor would see that as an opportunity. You see that as motivation in that way, just to work harder and stay more focused and compete longer and better, than before, because you've created a great opportunity. So I can't say we're right where we'd love to be, of course. There's 4 games that we'd like to have back right now. However, we're in the picture, and we've got a great opportunity ahead to gain ground on teams that are currently ahead of us. I saw that we came in 9th right now in the initial reveal. And so because of that, we're excited to go to work. We've got 2 teams we're competing with in the standings coming in this weekend. Arizona was mentioned in one that got one of those spots. So you've got an opportunity to position yourself this weekend, and we can control how we play this weekend, and so that's where our focus will be.
I know you want those. Oh, sorry. So I know you'd probably want some of those games back, but I mean, is it almost a little bit better to have the mentality for your team of let's go get some games here, as opposed to maybe being in the top 4 and being like, okay, now we can't trip up the rest of the way, and maybe things get tight.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think it depends on who the team is. I guess some teams need tough lessons to get to where they're going to be. Some teams don't. I've been part of both. More the type that need to get a beat. To learn who you are and to take those strides to become what you're capable of being. And I've had a team or a couple that we didn't need to lose. To learn those things. To me, it's your journey. What are you going to do with the situation you're in now, and how are you going to get better this weekend? So I like what I saw from our team last week. I mean, it's not fun losing 3 straight games. I don't care who you play. It's not fun. We could play the Blazers, lose 3 straight games, and it's not fun. I don't care. Losing's not fun. And so I thought they handled it well, as can be expected, came back, and were ready to focus on the things that we could improve upon, and they did. They responded very well last week and clearly followed it up with 80 good minutes.
Does Oregon's dominant win over Connecticut just say how great the Pac-12 is? I mean, they just kind of cruised through there and took care of business.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I saw the score at the end. I wasn't surprised by it. I like everybody to come out and play our teams. Everybody, come on out, please come on out and spend some time in the West and just see how fun that is, And so if that wasn't a statement, I don't know what is, So they were up 14.5 at UConn.
Yep.
Yeah, and we were up 3 here. Yep. And a 2-point game when Mick got our 4th foul in the end of the 3rd quarter, right? Mm-hmm. So, and we're 4th right now in the league or whatever. So, the Pac-12 it's good. Yeah, thank you. It's really good. It's really good, and it's getting better. So that certainly was a statement for us.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.